Well, it's always hard to introduce somebody that everybody knows. So I thought I'd tell you a little bit about Mayor Brown that you didn't know while log rolling for a program that's really special to me. We had a representative several years ago that said, good government starts with good people, and that couldn't be more true with Bob Brown. Mayor Brown every week goes over to Brandon and reads for an hour to 2 students. He's a mentor to them for an entire year, and he's done this for years. Now the funny thing is, when he starts, he gives them a business card including his cell number. Now how many mayors go to elementary schools and give their cell number? I don't know if anybody's used it yet, Bob. And the funny thing is, one of the kids this year went home and made his own business card and gave it back to Bob, and it had his name and his age and his lunch number, and it was pretty cute. The other thing that Mayor Brown does is at Christmas he gives Target gift cards. And I know of a specific instance that this year the student that got one of those gift cards was taken over to Target. He had never been to Target before. And he searched up and down for what he wanted. And you know what he bought? He bought a new pair of shoes. A new pair of shoes. So, Mayor Brown is good government and good people. The last thing I'll tell you is there are Mayor Brown cookies in the host lab. And to get those, you're going to have to be a mentor. But that Mayor Brown cookie recipe has now been passed down through 3 directors. So come and be a host mentor, but also we have good government with good people. Welcome, Mayor Brown.
Let's go home. Thanks, Scott. That was sweet. I appreciate it very much. Before I get started, there's a couple of special people in this room that I haven't seen in a long time, and Mayor Gordon, thank you for being here, and Atha Martin, thank you for being here. 2 longtime city people, and we're thrilled to see you. Amy said she was surprised at the crowd. I am overwhelmed. I cannot believe you got out in this kind of weather, but thank you. Thank you for an interest in the city that we serve. The first thing that we're going to do this year is show you a video that the International City Managers Association recently conducted a campaign to raise public awareness of the role that city administration plays in building community our citizens are proud to call home. We are proud to present the City of Lufkin's Life Well Run video, which highlights not only management but the important roles that all our employees play in keeping the City of Lufkin operating and moving forward.
There are things we rarely think about. Clean drinking water, where our trash goes, a light to find our way through the dark, an easily accessible walking trail, a place to encounter the exotic or to commune with nature, having a great place to work or play. But all across America, there are people thinking about those details every day, crafting plans and making the decisions that transform good communities into great ones. People like our city manager, who directs our City of Lufkin employees. They know that characteristics like civic engagement, quality housing, clean, vibrant neighborhoods, and solid infrastructure allow existing businesses to prosper and to attract new ventures. From exciting development projects, to expanding recycling programs, to the water for your shower, city employees, under the direction of our city manager, are responsible for the things that help communities thrive. They provide outstanding customer service, maintain the city's infrastructure of sewer, water, and roads, keep the community safe, and make tomorrow happen. Led by professional managers who have partnered with elected officials, they turn big policy ideas into great achievements. While most of us are busy running our lives, the city manager and the city employees he directs focus on running the community where we live our lives so that we all have a place that we're proud to call home. Dedicated city employees, inspired and directed by a professional city management team. Here in Lufkin, it's life well run.
I'd love to just stand here and tell you all about the City of Lufkin staff, because I think we do have the best staff in the state of Texas. Their pride and their professionalism just are unreal. And you as the customers, and think about how many places that you can walk in and pay bills and ask questions. We're one of very few that you can do that anymore. And take advantage of that in any way that you can, because we are here to answer any questions that you have. That's why we are the City of Lufkin. Well, as I start this, I want to thank Kara Atwood for putting it together for me, and I also want to thank Jackie Zimmerman for sharing some of her pictures with us. We had a fabulous year in 2014. Pinecrest Energy, we hope will kick off. You will see dirt turning. They will pay for the property and start turning dirt in April of this year, and that is the 700 megawatt power plant that is out in the industrial park. General Electric was an expansion that we were so excited about, and the $60 million that they have infused in this community. Everybody say a prayer. Cheap gasoline's wonderful, but we need pumping units too. So it's a catch-22, and we're thrilled to death that they have chosen to stay in Lufkin and be a part of our community. But we need all the prayers we can have to keep this thing going, because they are committed and the city is committed, and thanks to the 4B board, we have pledged some funds and gonna bail the city of Lufkin out in doing some sewer water stuff. But there's lots of opportunities, and all of those opportunities include jobs, and that's what we're mainly looking for. CHI, St. Luke's Memorial Hospital, we got a call early last year, and talked about that. They're a class act. They have come in here, and the board, if you know the people that were on the memorial board, you know that they measured their decision of how they wanted to direct Memorial Hospital by you, by how this hospital started in the 1940s, and how the business leaders at that time chose to coordinate and be a part of this community, and all of those decisions were made with you in mind, and they were still made the same way as this announcement was made, and we are very proud of the infusion that they also are going to make, $80 million or so in our community. Was privileged to get to be at the PID expansion ribbon cutting, and I said it at that, Scott Slusher and Amy, everything that you do in economic development, and I cut my teeth on it in the industry I worked in. We tried to attract industry. Every community wants to keep their kids at home. And Amy and Scott came back home to help us, and so has Mike Windsor, so has Trey Henderson. There's all kinds, and I'm going to quit calling names because I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings. I see Tom Billingsley back there. All of you have done something to help us, and we appreciate it, and you're investing in our community, and that's what makes it all possible. Home Smokehouse, I want you to meet Rodney Roth, and I think you will someday. He is one of the best salesmen, and I stood here last year and told you that. And then what I considered drug his feet, he wasn't. He was dealing with the health departments of the nation and whatever. He took an old worn out building that had sat idle for 7 years and has refurbished it and will have, I promise you, I bet will have 100 employees this summer. They have every certification they now need, and I really think that this will be the headquarters for Home Smokehouse as we move forward. He had to get through the Christmas crunch with his Burton plant, but he is expanding every day, and he's got every certification he needs, and I think all will be well there. If you've been around the loop, and drive safely when you go around there, dadgummit, until we get 59 North fixed up, it's dangerous, and I don't mind telling you. But in the corner, now I'm not good with directions, I'm going to say the northwest side of the 59 in the loop, of Timberland in the loop, is a new hotel coming in, and it will be called Sleep Inn. And again, it is a young gentleman that has made his home in Lufkin and lived here, is building Kelby McCall is building that. But again, it will be we need something on the north side. The city of Lufkin had a few changes this past year. Paul Parker told us in April that he intended to retire in December the 12th. And that seemed like a long time away when he said it, and it came fast. But we had a good summer of visiting with candidates for the job, and came up with another homegrown as far as I'm concerned, and that is Keith Wright is your new city manager of the city of Lufkin. And Keith, thank you and congratulations. Appreciate you. Keith tapped Steve Floyd, probably the neatest young guy that I've been around in a long time. He's just a kind-hearted business person that makes you feel good about yourself. And Steve is the assistant city manager. But if you want to feel safe, you need to get to Gerald Williams. We have another, again, the council has discussed going out and hiring and going out and filling every job. When you can grow your own and have the pride and have the commitment, you need to reward those that have paid their dues. And Gerald Williamson has certainly paid his dues. And we are very proud of Keith, Steve, and Gerald. There's the bookends of your chamber. Casey started this last year, and now Amy is here. Casey is now on our 4B board, and Jim Watkins chose to move out of the city because he can tell you later. Jim is on our tourism board and does a great job, but when you have to live in the city limits to be on the 4B board, and Casey has been a great business mind on that board, and we're very pleased that he's there. Amy is just a precious young lady, and we're thrilled to death with her leadership. In the old days, I used to talk about the three-legged stool, and that was the county and Judge Souter and the city and the chamber. Now my stool has 6 or 7 legs, including Angelina College, including LISD and Dr. Goffney. It takes all of us to run this city and to educate to the desires of the people that employ. These are the pictures that Jackie Zimmerman took of the Pinecrest ribbon cutting, and the guy in the center is, and the 2 guys in the center are John and Randy. What's their last name? Upchurch. But that was us back in the spring when they literally announced that they were coming. This is the GE deal. This is Jerome, and he speaks great French. But he cares about employees. One of the things that in the time that I was with him was listening to him discuss the displacement of employees, and that's not something that they're interested in doing. If I had followed this script, we'd be through. That's Gary Looper doing his CHI. Scott, there's your picture. I apologize. But that was the expansion at PID. And again, across the street from him is Mike Windsor's part. This is the Holmes Food. There is the hotel I was telling you about. So that honestly is my speech. And I'd get you out of here this early if I didn't have one more thing to say. Christmas, New Year's Eve. If you remember, it was cold, it was rainy, it was miserable. And being the social animal I am, I asked Tony, and Tony, thank you for being here today. Asked her, let's go riding around for a little while. As we drove out of our neighborhood onto Live Oak Street, there sat a city truck with 2 employees down on their knees with water blowing up. And we rode around a little while, came back, and there were 3 or 4 more trucks there. And they got this huge water leak on Live Oak on New Year's Eve night, 30-degree weather, 20, whatever it was. But I got to thinking, we talk about police and fire, and I love them to death and thank for everything that they do. They're first responders. But so are water and sewer. So is the street department. Whatever needs to be done in the city of Lufkin to keep it safe and to keep you rolling, the city is willing to do and does do with one call. We answer the phone and we go do what needs to be done. And we have these department heads that instill in these employees the pride of the city. And I want you each, you can't thank everybody. I want to thank you. I'd love to go around and thank every one of you being here. I don't know why in the world you came, but I appreciate it. This is nice, and I honestly do appreciate it. But this city is committed to doing what you want to do, and we listen to what you say. And Scott mentioned my business card. That's one of the neatest things that I do is get to talk to these young kids because I want them to stay here and I want them to have a place to work when they get out of school. But anyone can call and we will respond to whatever the need is. We may not do it exactly like you want to. So far, most of the things I ask for, I don't get it the way I want it because the city has a better way of doing it. But they do it because of the pride they take in where you live. And what we want you to do is stay here, buy here, and come back. Thank you.